Hey guys, my name is Kirsty and welcome back to Upside Down Books. Today we're going to be doing the Netflix book tag.
Non più tra I farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di
So this is just one that I have like randomly sourced because I really want to do it. It's got quite a decent number of questions in it. When I say decent, it's 12 to 11, so don't fear too much. And it's obviously all inspired by Netflix, so let's just dive right in because it's got some pretty cool questions, I think. So question number 1 is recently watched the last book that you finished reading. So as I'm filming, the last book that I finished reading was The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. I have either a review coming out or just came out, so you're gonna get hear a lot of me talking about this book because I freaking loved it, but this was the last book that I finished reading and yeah, not enough words to describe the sheer amount of love I have towards this story. The next question is top picks. A book or books that have been recommended to you based on books that you have previously read. I had to think about this one because there's not that many books that I own that people have recommended to me because usually I'm like already drowning in my own TBR, but I did think of one. I was actually persuaded, encouraged by a girl that I met when I was backpacking around the world once, and I have her on Instagram, and she was like, hey, I think you'd really like this book, I just finished reading it. And I thought, you know what, I'm actually gonna go get it. And that is The Tattooist of Auschwitz. So this is by Heather Morris. It's really, really popular. Like Silke's Journey came out this year, I think, which is like a follow-up to it, and that was super popular. So this has like been all over all of the bookish outlets. Everyone's just talking about it. So this is one book that I cannot wait to pick up. But obviously we are down to the whim of the TBR jar and when that will get selected from there. But yeah, this is probably one of the very few books that I have bought simply because someone said, I think you'd like reading this. So there we go. Question number 3 is recently added the last book you bought. Now, the last book I acquired, I did not buy. I was sent by Penguin Random House. And I'm going to share it with you because I'm so excited. And that is David Attenborough's latest book, A Life on Our Planet, My Witness Statement and a Vision for the Future. I am so excited to read this, and this has the most beautiful, like, embossed autograph of David Attenborough on the nakedness of the book itself. So I will talk more about this in my book haul, but oh my goodness, you don't understand my love for David Attenborough. I just think he is such a marvel of a man, so I'm really, really looking forward to reading it, and it's not too big, so super excited. The next question is popular on Netflix, books that everyone knows about. So 2 that you've read and 2 that you're not interested in reading. So, thought I would pick some of the most popular books I could think of. The first one being A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas, which I've read and loved way back in the day, much closer to when it actually came out. This is just like amazing how popular this series is now, so that is definitely one of my picks. The other popular pick that I've read was Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, another one that is phenomenally popular now. And then if we look towards the 2 books that I'm not going to be reading, I think the first thing that comes to mind is The Vampire Diaries. I probably will never read that, despite having just raved about The Beautiful and loving that vampire book. I really don't want to read Vampire Diaries. I don't think I'll get along with it. And on that note, I probably also won't read any other of Cassandra Clare's books, simply because I can't even remember which one it was I read, like The Shadow Hunter, the first book in that series, and like, it was okay. I rated it pretty highly, but I was so uninspired to continue reading it. I did find it a bit tweeny, which is really funny because my dad's currently reading it and loving it, but I just, it's just not, I'm not interested. I don't want to read it even though everybody and their dog has read it. So that's a from me. Next question. So question number 5 is comedies, a funny book. So the book I'm going to be talking about is actually Eddie Izzard's memoirs. So this is a really funny memoir, and there are so many other comedians I could have picked to talk about, but I don't feel like his memoirs get anywhere near enough chit chat about them. Probably because maybe not that many people know about Eddie Izzard. He's a British comedian and he is just brilliant. I really love him. If you know who he is, then you know how quirky and amazing he is and how well he can wear heels throughout an entire comedy show. That man wears heels better than I do, but his memoirs are just so entertaining to read. Absolutely bonkers and funny. So if you know who he is and you enjoy his stuff, can't recommend enough that you go and check out, believe me. The next question is dramas, a character who is a drama king / queen. So the character that I have picked for this one is Alosa from The Daughter of the Pirate King. She is such a badass leading lady, but she is also totally a drama queen. I love how dramatic she is, and her flair for the dramatics is really entertaining. She's one of my favorite fictional characters that I've come across in 2020, and I'm really excited to read the sequel whenever I manage to get a copy of that. But yeah, oh my goodness, if you haven't read this yet, then Alosa is just like everything you need in your life. The next question is animated, books with cartoons on the cover. Now for the life of me, I couldn't think of one. and I didn't really have the patience to think of like a normal book that has a cartoon, so I cheated and I just picked out like a selection of, what are these called? Graphic novels, because these obviously have illustrations in and on them. And so we've got what I picked up: Low, Descender, and Monstrous. 3 graphic novels I've read. I feel like I never talk about graphic novels on this channel. I sort of went through a little phase where I was reading them and like getting through them and enjoying them, but in all honesty, I'm just not sure they're my thing, considering how expensive they are. As fun as they are to read, I don't know. I guess I'm in a graphic novel slump, but that's not what we're talking about, so let's move on. The next question is, watch it again, a book or a book series you want to reread. And one I've been trying to reread for the longest time is the Tiger's Curse saga. So this is the book I'm up to in this series. It's atrocious that I have a Colleen Houck book unread, considering she's my favorite author, but I have been putting this off until I can like reread the series and refresh in my mind. I have reread Tiger's Curse once or twice already, but I never seem to actually like get through and get to book 2, and then I like need to reread book 1 again for some reason, despite this literally being my favorite series of all time. I find it has really blurred in my mind what events happened when, so if I don't just like sit down and read these all in one go, I'm probably never going to get to Tiger Stream. And it is quite a hefty book, like it's nearly 700 pages. So this is a series that I really want to like commit to rereading. Maybe that can be a resolution for 2021. We'll see. I'm not making any promises there. The next question is Documentaries, a non-fiction book that you would recommend to everybody. There is one book that I absolutely loved this year, which was a non-fiction, and it was a self-help and inspiring book, and it's called Buy Yourself the Effing Lilies by Tara Schuster. And like, this book was like everything I needed when I read it. If you've gone through a hard time in any sense or shape or form, well, that was the wrong expression, but you know what I mean, then like, please do yourself a favor and go and read this book. Like, it really is just like a really wonderful and approachable way of being like, hey, this is how you can do things for yourself to make yourself happy and feel really valuable again. It's a really touching book. So this has been one of my favorite reads of 2020 just because of how much it put a positive spin on my life when I was going through a bit of a downer. So this was just, yeah, love this book. Please go and buy yourself a copy of it. The next question is action and adventure, an action-packed book. So, after some thought, I selected Furyborn by Claire Legrand. This is really quite a high stakes, fast-paced are we in Disneyland? Fast-paced novel that I really enjoyed. There's like so much going on in this. In each chapter, it's like absolutely mind-boggling. The scope and scale of the book is just like really big. So if you're looking for something that's like this is a pretty decent page count, but if you're looking for a quick read that's just like then this is the book you're looking for. It is like so much fun to pile through. And that brings me to number 11, which is a new release. I've got quite a few new releases up my sleeve at the moment, but one I want to talk about is The Champagne War by Fiona McIntosh. Yes, maybe I'm turning into a middle-aged lady. Who knows, but I'm so excited about this. When I read The Pearl Thief this year, it was again one of my favorite reads for the year. It sounds like every book was my favorite read for the year, but like it's yeah, okay, I've had a good reading year, what of it. But I have been so excited to read more of Fiona McIntosh's stuff. The Pearl Thief was the first book by hers I read, and my mum is currently reading one of her fantasy series, so I've decided that this is an author I need in my life a bit more, and I just love the cover for this book. It's just absolutely stunning. So this one is set in 1914 in, I want to say France, not sure. I think it's set in France. So yeah, I'm just like so excited. This comes out on the 3rd of November. So it is coming out soon, and I'm like fully anticipating to enjoy this as much as I enjoyed The Pearl Thief. So that brings us to the end of the tag. I have whizzed through that one. If you want to give this tag a go, then consider yourself tagged. I'm not going to tag anyone today because I just think this is fun to do and a cute way to explore some books that you've really enjoyed. So those are my answers for the Netflix book tag. Let me know down in the comments below what you think, if you have read any of those books, or if you have any particular thoughts on any recommendations. And no, you will probably never convince me to read The Vampire Diaries, no matter how much you might want me to. So that's all I've got for you today, so I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.
Alle gloria militar